Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to put downpipes on BMW 335 or change your oxygen sensors and all of that stuff. So let's get started. Now this particular video is for all the X-Drive models, so just keep that in mind. And but rear wheel drive, there's many videos. There's not a single video for all wheel drive, so I figured I'll make one while I'm changing my oxygen sensors. I already have downpipes on, but I just want to change out my oxygen sensors because I have a check engine light. So while I do that, you know, you guys get to see how to put on downpipes for all the fellows who need to put on downpipes on their all-wheel drive cars. So the first thing you guys want to do is you guys want to unplug your bank 1 and bank 2 oxygen sensors, and these are routed from all the way behind the engine and come around to this boost solenoid side. And just gonna go ahead and remove those and continue on with the rest of the stuff. This is all you need to do from the top mainly. Everything else is gonna be from the bottom. Also the top, I already have the top cowl removed, so you're gonna have to remove that. There's many videos for that, for the removal. So the next thing you're gonna do is jack up the car on jack stands and take this bottom tray off if you have it. If you don't, you can skip this step. It's a bunch of 8mm just holding up the bottom tray together. So I'm gonna take that off real quick and I'll be right back. So after you removed all your shields at the bottom, I just kind of went ahead and removed this front one and the one in the back, because I mean, you're gonna need to access both areas. You're also wanna remove this guy right here. I'll remove this in a second. And also the two on the side, one over there and one right over there. There's two shields, the smaller ones, like those right there. Gonna have to remove those to access the subframe bolts. We're gonna drop the subframe a little bit, and it will give us more access to the downpipes, and also we'll have just better access in general, and easier to work with. I like open work areas, so yeah. So after you take the shields off, you can see the downpipes now. I have the arm downpipes installed. Let me get a light over here. So you're gonna have to, let's see here. Access that bolt right there. And then you're gonna have to take the exhaust bolts off. And by the way, somebody chewed up my oxygen sensor wires. Great. Anyways, so yeah, just take off, maybe soak these into PU Blaster a little bit, and yeah, just take them off. And take the clamp bolts off. I have mine, like I can see one right there, and I know the front one I can access from the bottom, so I mean from the top. And I'll go ahead and do that. But before you do any of that, you're gonna probably gonna get the Harbor Freight engine support bar, because you're definitely gonna need that if you're loosening up the subframe. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount that real quick, and then I'll show you guys. So I got the engine support bar all put up. It's not gonna go anywhere. There's different ways people do this. I mean, this way it works for me, so I'm just gonna stick with doing this. Kind of have it like looped in there behind it. It's not gonna go anywhere. I've done this before. If it falls, it falls. I'm gonna just support it up with some other stuff too at the bottom. After putting the support bar up, I'm gonna go ahead and try and remove these exhaust bolts real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get the downpipes out after dropping the subframe a little bit. So let me just go ahead and do these, and I'll be right back. So just keep in mind, guys, these bolts are going to be rusted, especially if you're on the stock downpipes. Yeah, they're going to be really rusted, so you're going to have to, like, this is probably the hardest part in the whole job, in my honest opinion. Like, just taking these off. Like, I put these on, about 9 months ago, and they're, like, rusted out. I can't even get these off. But, yeah, have fun doing this. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward job, and let me fight with these a little bit, and when I take these off, and I'll show you guys the rest of the process. So just keep in mind, guys, I took the two bottom exhaust bolt outs, this one and that guy right there. I was gonna take the top one off, but there's this shield in the way. This little bracket thing that holds the oxygen sensor cables. It's held by a 14 millimeter, and just take that off. It shouldn't be that tight. Just take that off. It'll give you a lot more access room and whatnot. So just do that. And also, exhaust bolts are 13 millimeter for me. I mean, I think there's 13 millimeter stock as well, but might be different depending on what it is. So got this one off right here, and then make sure you guys have like a new exhaust gasket, because you're definitely gonna need that. I mean, I could reuse these, but I have an extra one. I'm just gonna slap that on. Also, you have this one bracket back here that kind of holds the exhaust in place. It's a E10 torque, so just take that out. And then I'll just go ahead and remove the other one and drop the subframe a little bit, remove the oxygen sensors, and take these out. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this guy off real quick and show you guys the rest. All right guys, so after removing the exhaust bracket, I kind of went ahead and removed this downpipe clamp. So it came loose. I mean, mine is snapped off, but you know, that's why I recommend getting extra clamp. This clamp is it's reusable, but you know, it's easier if you have just a new one, just in case something like this happens. I mean, whatever works for you guys. Now there's two ways to do this. Some people like to remove the oxygen sensors. Like, you can get it on it from underneath the car, or you can kind of go around the control arm area. Let me see if I can reach in there. And this is the actual shaft, and that's the two oxygen sensors right there. You could those are the ones that are going up towards the top of the car. You can probably take them off from right here. It's very accessible, and make sure you guys have the oxygen sensor socket or something big enough to fit the oxygen sensors. It's not that expensive, so I would highly recommend getting the special oxygen socket. I'll show you guys what it looks like in a second too. As far as me personally, since I'm changing my sensors out, which I also recommend doing while you guys are doing the downpipes. If you want to reuse your old ones, you can. I mean, it's up to you. I'd reuse mine, and look at me, I have to just redo this job like 9 months later. So I recommend replacing them as you put the downpipes on. But other than that, you can take them off while the downpipes are in the car. I'm just gonna kind of take them out and then take them off after they're off the car. It's just easier to do it that way. So this is the socket for the oxygen sensors. You can, if you have a wrench that's 7/8 of the 22 millimeter size, you can use that as well, but it's kind of hard to get into that spot while the downpipe is in the car. So if you're getting it off in the car, I would highly recommend getting one of these. When it's off the car, you could probably use a 22 millimeter wrench if you have one that's big enough to take the oxygen sensors off. All right guys, so the time to drop the subframe is finally here. So there is total of 6 bolts in the subframe. There is one right there. There is one on this other side. This guy right here, that's where you remove the 2 small shields off of. These are going to be your small bolts. I'm gonna check the size and let you guys know in a second. And also there is 2 in the middle, and then there's 2 in the front as well. 1 on each side. And then while you're removing those, you're also gonna have to remove the engine mount bolts. Where did you go? So there's 2 e-torques for the engine mount. So you gotta have to remove those. Now as far as the front bolt, like this particular one right here, I'm not gonna remove these front ones, the ones that are like towards the front of the car. So this is my intercooler right here. So this bolt right here, right there, and the one on the other side, I'm not going to remove all the way. I'm going to leave those in like halfway, so just in case something happens, something is holding the subframe. Plus, you don't want to drop the subframe all the way because then it's going to mess up your alignment, which it might still do, even by loosening up the bolts. But there's a better chance you can drive your car. Like last time I did mine, I didn't have to get it realigned. So these are gonna probably come out. I will try doing it halfway. If I don't, if I have to remove it all the way, I would remove it all the way. But these, I know for sure, the front ones, you don't have to remove all the way. I only removed them halfway and it worked. So first, remove those two, loosen up the front four, remove the engine mount ones, and see how it goes. If you guys have enough room, take the other ones out. Do that. If you don't have enough room, then remove these as well, to give yourself some extra room as well. All right, guys. So I'm at the front of the car, going underneath. I just wanted to show you guys how I removed. So kind of dropped that much for the front one. I'm probably going to drop the same amount for the rear one. Now, if you have stock downpipes on, you might have to remove the middle one all the way, just because. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Yeah, so this guy right here, you might have to remove all of it because the cats are really thick, and it might be hard to get out unless you want to cut them off and then remove them in pieces. That's up to you. But I did want to go ahead and remove that guy right there for the, let's see if it focuses. So yeah, this one and this one right there for the engine mount on the driver's side. And then I also removed that's the engine mount right there, two on the passenger side as well, that guy right there and that. So these two are off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and drop this one and the one on the other side a little bit. This guy, yeah, mine was really rusted last time, so I replaced it so it looks different. If you haven't touched the car before and you haven't replaced yours, they're going to be hex head like this guy. But if yours is replaced before or yours is rusted out, make sure you get a new one, and the replacement is going to be like that. It's going to be an E-Torx. So I'm going to go ahead and drop those halfway and see if I can get my downpipes off and show you guys how it is. Okay guys, so after you take the back bolts out, halfway dropping the front ones, and then as you can see, this middle one right here only dropped this much. It's only like a 1/4 inch. I didn't take out all the way because I can feel it. This is still threaded into the top right there. So what I'm like, I kind of pulled it down a little bit, and it has about you can see how much extra room it gave me. And then where this was no room to move this around, it should be enough room to move it around for me to like kind of wiggle everything. Let's see, I can move the exhaust out the way and kind of finagle the downpipe out. Like I said, if you have style cats in there, they're gonna be a little bit thicker in width, and you might have to drop the middle one all the way and kind of have, make more room in this over here. So just do that if you need to, but just make sure you have everything supported from the top so the whole thing doesn't drop on you. But other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and take these out and show you guys what they look like while they're out the car. Okay guys, so I got both of the downpipes loosened up. So the first thing you want to do as far as like removing these, I've been fighting with these for an hour almost, just trying to figure out which order to get them out. So the easiest thing I found to do was leave the front one, which is this one, the first when you laying down, the first one towards your side. Leave this in its place where it connects up top. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There's some extra light in here. Yeah, so if you leave the front one where it's supposed to be, like by the turbo, and just remove the rear one first, you kind of gotta wiggle it, turn it sideways and everything. It will come all the way down, and then you kind of gotta move the exhaust out the way, and then kind of wiggle it out. I did remove my O2 sensors for the primary O2 to make it easy. And see now this one is out right here. And now I can remove the front downpipe. I'll do that off camera because I'll need both hands. Maybe I'll try to. Yeah, it will give you more room. And also, just to let you guys know, I did have to like drop this almost all the way, just to show you how much room I did end up needing between the subframe and the car. It's about 2 fingers. Pretty much I removed it all the way. The middle one, I had to remove the middle subframe bolts all the way too. Like these guys, like this is like just literally 2 threads in just to be, you know, be on the safe side. The front one I didn't touch. I only, the way I had it before, this one right here, the way I had it before, like a 1/2 inch. That's how much I dropped it. I just left it in there. And just to show you, I just wanted to show you guys as an update. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out, put the O2 sensors on, and then kind of slap everything back in its place and show you how that's done too. All right, guys, so got my downpipes back on. All put the clamps back on. I changed all the oxygen sensors out. So what I had to do was, let's see if I can get this to focus, show you guys. So you see that bolt right there. So the clamp, the new clamp I got, the bolt is very small. Oh, it's shorter than what I can fit on there. Well, I can't, this is in the way. Let me get this. So what I had to do was I ran to Home Depot and got a bigger one. And this light is on. Yeah, so this guy right here, I ran to Home Depot. I got a longer one, and which made it easier for this too, because this won't connect all the way down because the other bolt is shorter. So this won't sit all the way down for me to start the threads by hand, so I can then use a ratchet or a wrench or something. So what I had to do was just get a bigger one, and then just use that, and then now it sits flush because I fought with it for like a good hour, 2 hours trying to get it down, and it wouldn't go down. Also, just make sure that these sit properly on there, because if you set them at an angle and then you think you have it on, you might not still have it on, and then you're gonna have an exhaust leak. So yeah, just make sure of that. Also, when you're tightening these down, first, in my opinion, the easiest way to put it back in is if you're looking at the car. So the turbo, the rear turbo one, I would put this one back in first, the rear turbo. That's that guy right there. I would put this one back in first, all the way up. I will clamp it down, and then I would put this one on, the front one. The reason being is the front one is on your side. It has a lot more room, so it'll be easier to put on. and it's in your face. You can see it. You can see it better. The rear one, if you put this one in, the rear one, you have no hand room and no room to look at stuff down back there. Then it'll be very hard to just feel and put the clamp on. That's the hard part. Also, before you tighten them down, make sure your exhaust lines up all the way. If your exhaust don't line up, make sure you change it around, because I did make the mistake. I tightened them up top by the turbo, and then my exhaust won't line up, so I had to literally just remove both of them again and then install them back together, because I forgot about that. And by the way, these are the bolts that came with the turbo clamp. I just use them as a new exhaust bolt. It's whatever. We used one old one, and then other three are new. New exhaust gaskets, new turbo seal gaskets. So yeah, I have the subframe bolted back up. Everything is back together. Subframe torque was 80 foot-pounds for all the bolts. And I have the engine mount back on too. So what you want to do is make sure you start these by hand. Very easy to cross thread. Yeah, just make sure you start threading these by hand, and then you go from there. And also, once you drop the subframe, these might be a little bit moved to the side. Like if you look from this side right here, that's the engine mount. So if it is not lined up with the hole at the bottom, you don't see the threads, you can just kind of push it out the way, just kind of move it around a little bit for your holes to line up, and then you screw them in. I still have to screw mine in all the way. It's not on all the way yet, but yeah, just make sure you do that, because you don't want to cross thread these, because then you won't have engine mount, which is not good. Other than that, let me just go ahead. I did start the car up already. Just try to see I don't have any codes anymore. What I'll do is I'll take it off the jack stands real quick, and then I have some other pointers to give, so I'll do that. Also guys, just make sure when you're reinstalling the subframe, so when I pulled it down from the back part of the subframe, like from right there, when I pulled it down, the subframe was at an angle. After playing with it a little bit, when I needed more room, the subframe from the front side, from that bolt, that also dropped. Like, I had it opened all the way, halfway, and then it kind of just dropped down on the bolt as well. So that's why I didn't want to remove it all the way, because it will be hard to go back in. So what I had to do was, even it was still halfway installed, I still had to use my floor jack to kind of push it back up, hand tighten the bolts, and then go in each corner and kind of push it back up with the floor jack, because you can only do so much by hand. So if you do end up removing all the bolts somehow for some reason, just make sure you use a jack or proper support and stuff to install it back together. All right guys, so yeah, finally it's done. No more check engine light, and gonna go test drive it real quick, see if the coils pop back up. Then that's how you do downpipe install. I'm gonna wash her today, very dirty. But yeah, if any questions, comments, leave them down below. I'll try my best to help you guys as much as I can. Thanks for watching.